Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham and Sam Carlson. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an edge over your competition. If you want to be part of a movement that is taking digital marketers to new heights, this is for you. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 90. I'm Phil Graham. Sam is off this week, but he'll be back soon. I just wanted to say I'm super excited about today's episode because I'm going to be talking about a strategy that I created for our clients that we use all the time that I think is a total game changer, and I call it micro content Facebook ads. It's worked extremely well for us, and hardly anybody uses this or does it, or if they do, they don't do it effectively. And so I'm really excited to break that down for you in this episode of the podcast. Now, before we get into that, I just want to remind you guys, we've got a free Facebook ads fundamentals course, 100% free, teaches you the basics of how to get started and start running some ads. And you can pick that up at myelitegift.com, 100% free, myelitegift.com. So I hope you guys are having a great week. As I record this, I'm in Seattle and we've been hit with tons of snow, you guys. If you guys don't know me, if you haven't listened before, I love snow. I love football. I love snow, love family, all that stuff. And we hardly ever get snow in Seattle. And so when we get snow, it's like Christmas almost. And we've gotten a ton of snow. There's more on the way. So it's pretty fun. I apologize in advance. I have friends all over the world and some people in the Midwest and in Canada that are willing to give us all their snow. And I fully admit, after about a week of snow, it's like, okay, it's starting to get old, but I love it. We're having a good time. So that's just a little bit about me. Anyway, let's jump into the content this week, you guys. Super excited. Micro content Facebook ads. What in the heck does that mean? Well, let's start off with the mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners make and people that advertise on Facebook. This happens so much. So people create broad ads to a broad audience. All right. By itself, that's not a mistake. We do that too, but that's not the only thing we do. I actually created a system and a framework that I use all the time that is a little bit different. And it's in addition to running broad ads. Look, if you've got a great ad spend and a big budget and you're willing to spend a lot of money on ads, lookalikes, and spending a lot of money is a great way to go. But there's a lot of people that either don't have a lot of money to spend or they don't want to necessarily spend a lot of money at first, especially if it's like a startup or something to where they're not that profitable yet. So no matter where you are, whether you're, not wanting to spend a lot of money on ads or you want to spend, $1,000 a day or $5,000 a day or anything in between, this strategy can work for you. And like I said, very few people do it. So let's jump into it. So I'm going to give you guys an example that I use quite a bit with clients that I talk to. I want you to imagine for a second that you are a weight loss coach. All right. So pretend like you're a weight loss coach. And I want you to imagine Facebook is like a dinner party. I've said this before on one of our earlier podcasts, maybe a year ago, but this is like a fundamental truth that most people don't get. Even some so-called ad experts still don't get this. So make sure you guys are paying attention because it's really important. Facebook is like a social gathering. People are not on Facebook for the purpose of looking at ads, unless they're like, me, like an advertiser, right? Your customers, your clients are not there to look at ads when they're on Facebook, right? So you have to think of it like a social gathering, like a dinner party. That's how Facebook should be thought of, and Instagram for that matter. So pretend like you're a weight loss coach. You're at a social gathering and you see somebody across the table who's a stranger to you and they're overweight. And this is like what you do. And you feel bad for them and you want to help them. Now, if that were true, would you just walk over to them and introduce yourself and ask for their email immediately so you can send them 7 tips on how to lose weight? You would never do that in real life, would you? You wouldn't start off that way. But the crazy thing is 99% of the Facebook ads I see do the exact same thing. They do that. They advertise to cold traffic with nothing but an offer of, hey, give me your email address and I'll give you something, right? And it's no different on a computer or on a phone, because on the other end of that screen is a human being, just like if you were in a restaurant or a dinner party and you walked up to that stranger, whether you're in person or over the computer, it's still a human being. Can you see why that's not that effective? Now, if you're selling something inexpensive, maybe you're selling t-shirts or a $25 e-commerce product or something like that, that's a little bit different. All right. And there's always exceptions. But for a lot of people, they're selling something that's more expensive. Maybe they're selling services. Maybe they're coaches or consultants. And you need to do something much different, much better than that to actually get the attention and get business from most people. And I do that through micro content Facebook ad. Now, let's talk about that. First of all, going back to our example, in real life, if you were to walk over to that person, what you would do if you wanted to actually connect with them and help them is to just start a conversation without asking for their email within the first 5 seconds. And then when the time was right, you would transition into what you do. And then you could talk about how you could help them when the time is right, whether that was that night or maybe you follow up with them later. But eventually the time would be right and you would make that happen. Well, we do that through Facebook ads by doing value first ads, value bombs at the top of the funnel. That's what I call it, top of the funnel value bombs. And then we retarget and follow up based on who consumes what value bomb. So that by itself is very different to how many people do Facebook ads, but there's way more to it. Let's dig into that, because this next part is what makes it really unique and really effective. All right, so now we're going to give you another example. Pretend like you're a gym. All right, you're a gym, and there's different reasons why people might go to the gym, isn't there? Some people might want to lose weight. Somebody else might want to build muscle. There might be somebody else that wants to go because they want to increase their flexibility. Somebody else might go just to relieve stress. There's all these different reasons, and it's going to vary based on who you talk to. Everybody's got different reasons for why they want to go, right? And you might even have somebody that wants all of that stuff. They might want to lose weight and build muscle and de-stress and all that stuff. Here's the thing. Even if somebody wants all of that stuff, there's always one of those things that's most important. One of those things is the lever or the trigger they will say yes to if you talk to them about that one thing. Our job is to find out what that one thing is, and then we give them more of that one thing. So using our gym example, a big mistake a lot of people would make would be doing these general broad ads that talk about everything. Hey, we'll help you lose weight. You could build muscle. You could de-stress, blah, 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 like all that stuff. Oh, and here's a discount for coming in. All right. Now, nothing wrong with doing a broad ad like that. But if that's all you do and that's your primary strategy, you're probably going to set yourself up for failure and for losing money, or at least not making what you could be making. Here's what you could do instead, and what I highly recommend. We create micro content Facebook ads around one individual subject. So for example, when I start working with a new client, I find out what are the top 3 to 5 reasons why somebody will say yes and actually do business with you. What are those key things? Just like a gym, it would be weight loss, build muscle, etc. I find out what those things are. And it's different for every client in every niche. There's always something, specific to them. And then what we do is we create micro content short ads around each one of those things. So for example, back to the gym example, we would create a video that talks about just weight loss, and that would be an ad campaign. We would have another ad campaign that's just about building muscle. We would have another one for reducing stress, etc. So we would have these individual funnels or ad campaigns, all based around one main topic each. And then what we do is we just build retargeting audiences based off of what people consumed at the top of the funnel. So if we're doing a 60-second video on weight loss, by the way, at the top of that funnel, we're not actually selling anything in that video. Remember, we're starting a conversation without asking for anything first. So we're going to give some value, and we're just going to do a value-based ad first. I call it value first. So we're not selling anything, but we're going to create audiences around the people that watch those videos. So we're going to create an audience of people who watched at least 50% or more of any of those videos. Because if somebody watches, let's say you have a 1-minute video and they sit there and watch at least 30 seconds of it, 30 seconds of Facebook time is like 2 hours, of doing something else. Like for somebody to actually sit there and watch 30 seconds of a video, that's actually pretty good with people's short attention spans these days. So you can be pretty assured that if they watch 30 seconds or more, whatever you were talking about in that video should be of interest to them. Like that might be the trigger if they watch that much. So we would have retargeting audiences we build around weight loss. We would have a separate one around muscle building, another one around reducing stress. And then guess what? If somebody's watching stuff about reducing stress, they're watching 50% or more of the video, they have shown interest by their actions and through their actions that that's what's important to them. And at this point, when we retarget, we are not guessing. We are taking away guessing and hope and replacing that with data and a smart strategy, which is what hardly anybody does who advertises. So we let them choose. They self-select what's important to them by their actual actions, by what they watch, what they listen to, what they click on. And then we retarget them with another ad that has a call to action on that very same thing. So if they're watching stuff about reducing stress, guess what? They're going to get a call to action about stress and how going to the gym can help stress. You guys, when you do this, amazing things can happen because you're moving from hope to a strategy that's based on data, and it's very smart. And it's always based on other people's actions, not guessing. That's where it becomes so powerful. And we've had great success with it. And I highly recommend you guys try this out. It's very powerful. Very few people do it. And it doesn't cost a lot to do, especially if you're willing to do video on Facebook. So again, top of the funnel, make sure you aren't necessarily selling anything. And then you follow up based on the people that were interested in those things. Create micro content ads that are not broad. They're just about one specific lever, one thing that's important, why somebody might say yes, and create 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of those. And then retarget with different ads based on each one. And it's based on what people were interested in and what they reacted to. And then that retargeting ad can have the call to action. Maybe you want to schedule a call. Maybe you want them to opt in for something or attend a webinar. Whatever it is, you can have that in the retargeting ad, right? And then you just want to be really smart about retargeting. Facebook is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Your success will come through people seeing you more than once or twice. Typically, they need to see you a few times. And when they do, they're going to start to know, like, and trust you. And that opens the doors to business and more money for a lot of people. So you guys, try this. It's worked extremely well for us. I highly recommend it. If you have any questions about it, let me know. This is powerful, you guys, and very few people do this. That's why I feel like a lot of people fail when it comes to ads. So you can reach me at elitemarketer.org. There's a contact button at the top, and you can send me an email if you have any questions. If not, though, make sure you guys test this out. Let me know how it goes. And that is episode 90 in the books. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm super excited to connect with you guys next week. So I will talk to you next time. Have a great week, everybody. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about us, please visit fbadspodcast.com.